Plenty of snow across the area, and it's a very heavy snow. Let's get the details now with meteorologist Amanda Cox.
Good evening, guys. Well, this is actually a record-breaking event in parts of our area. It has been a long time since we've seen this much snow in the late part of October, and it's really coming down. This system has dumped a lot of snowfall on our area, and we're in store for some more that's going to continue to be very heavy and wet throughout the evening and into the early part of the overnight hours. You can see down to the south, there is some dry air trying to sneak in. However, that dry slot is now breaking down. The storm system is intensifying a little bit, and we expect to see all of this snowfall back to the west. It's going to try and make its way through here. What's down to the south, though, is some rain mixing with snow, and that's because temperatures are staying at or just above freezing at this point. However, for most of our area, we have seen that very heavy snow for quite a bit of time. That's creating some problems on area roadways. Very slick conditions are out. Also, this very heavy wet snow is weighing down tree limbs and power lines, and because it's such an early storm system, we still have a lot of leaves on our area trees, and that extra weight is really bringing down those trees very quickly, causing some road closures. If you have to get out, we recommend you being extra careful, allowing for some extra time, but our best case scenario is for you to stay home because the roads are not really great all right now. You can see the bigger picture. This storm system has been working its way up the coast, pounding our area. The main area of low pressure is actually out to the east of us, and that's going to continue to track off to the north. But all of this back around, wrapping around the storm system still has to come through our area. You can see right where that dry slot is. It's moved past us. Instead of coming in and drying our area out, it's moved past us. Now we have that wraparound that's going to be swinging through, and we're expecting some more accumulation on top of what we've already seen. We're actually increasing the amounts around our area. For most of us, 6 to 12 inches of snowfall accumulation, even higher amounts than that in our northern sections. This is an elevation-driven event. The higher up you are, the more snowfall you're going to see, because as you head towards the south, we're in the lower elevations, that gradient is very, very sharp. You go from 3 to 6 inches, 1 to 3 inches, to in southern portions of New Jersey, just a slushy coating to an inch. So quite a variation across our area, but for most of us, 6 to 12 inches is what we're expecting. As we move through the next couple of hours, that heavy snow is going to continue, but we should eventually see it tapering off late in the evening into the early part of the overnight, around 10, 11, maybe midnight, depending on where you're at in our area as that storm system lifts to the north. Here's another factor, though. We're going to hit a low at about 28 degrees, and with such cold conditions, anything that's on the area roadways will freeze, creating some icy slick conditions on top of what we already have. So that's just kind of like a punch to the gut after what we've already seen. But we are expecting clearing skies, brisk and cold conditions. Those winds are really going to pick up, and that will reduce visibility as well. Here's a look at the extended forecast. You can see we will quiet down once this storm system exits, and that's going to be a nice relief after what we've already dealt with all day long. We're going to continue to keep an eye on this storm system, but let's look at what's happening elsewhere around our area. John?
Amanda just said plenty of trees and power lines are down across the viewing area, and we've got lots of roads closed because of that, causing all kinds of headaches out there. Let's get a look on the road conditions now with Vern Anderson in the traffic center. Vern.
All right, John, thank you very much. As you mentioned, it is very tricky. It is very messy out there. And the best advice, please just stay home. There's really no need to go out if you don't absolutely have to. PennDOT and their crews are out there treating the roads and keeping up with what's going on out there. But we're hearing on the scanners reports of ice accumulating on trees, transformers, wires. Police and emergency crews are going to need to get to those areas and respond accordingly. Also, we're hearing reports a lot of the side streets are a mess, especially with wet roadways, slushy roadways, and those leaves, as Amanda mentioned. Taking a look at some of the problems we've got, 476 stop and go between Quakertown and the Lehigh Valley. In Lehigh County, 22 eastbound, there's a report of trees in the roadway That's eastbound between 309 and Cedar Crest Boulevard. In Allentown, Martin Luther King closed between 4th and 10th Streets. Also, the 3300 block of Tillman Street closed due to a down power line that's near the Wegmans. Berks County, US 422 between Old Airport Road and Old Swede Road in Amity Township, closed due to a down power line. 625 between Freemansville Road and Church Road in Cumru Township, also closed due to down trees and power lines. I-78 eastbound between exit 40, that's PA 737, and exit 45, PA 863, that's closed due to a crash. In Northampton County, Northwood and Van Buren Road between Nazareth Road and Bridle Path Road in Palmer Township, that is closed due to down power lines. 512 near the Wegmans, also a down power line. Various power lines down along 611, and we're hearing that traffic can be very tricky if you're trying to travel along Morgan Hill. Plain and simple, best advice, stay inside, stay off the roads. We will keep you up to date with the latest forecast and traffic conditions throughout the afternoon. John, back to you.
Vern, we're going to keep you up to date on what the conditions are throughout the area. Now let's head on over to Reading, where our own Pam Cunningham is out in the elements. How is it out there, Pam?
John, we've been driving around this afternoon trying to get a sense of what it's like, and what Vern was saying is absolutely right. Side streets are closing down because trees are falling down on them. Where I'm standing here in Reading, there's actually not a ton of accumulation on the sidewalk or in the street right here, but honestly, you go a few blocks up and there's like 2 or 3 inches. What you are seeing is, if you take a look at this bush, is snow accumulating on branches and leaves. We're not used to seeing snow and leaves, and it's just weighing these trees down tremendously. We were talking to somebody who was out without power right now in Mount Penn. He was calling this Mother Nature's mischief night, and it is causing mayhem. We're finding out that here in Berks County, combined PPL and Med-Ed, there's about 41,000 people without power right now. So it's a concern if you're out on the streets driving, but it's also a concern because people are without power. So we've been telling people don't go out. If you don't have power, you can't even watch this. But we know that PPL is recommending to people to maybe find another location to go to tonight. If they're without power, or if they have power now, just make backup plans, which is always good advice. Reporting live in Reading, Pam Cunningham, 69 News.
All right, thanks a lot, Pam. Well, we all certainly had trouble getting to our station here on East Rock Road today. It's one of the, as Amanda said, a higher elevation main, so you're going to get the worst of the storm. We've got all kinds of tree limbs down and trees down on East Rock Road. Let's see what the conditions are like out here on the mountain. And there's John Craven out in the snowstorm.
Yeah, well, you know, John, you do not have to go far to see just how awful the conditions are. These trees are just getting terribly weighed down by all this heavy, wet snow. I'd say here on the mountain, we've gotten at least 9 or 10 inches of snow already. It is coming down really hard right now. And again, that has led to a lot of power outages around the area. PPL reporting 65,000 customers without power here in Lehigh County. Northampton County, a little over 20,000. And those numbers are sure to go up as more of these trees come down, more of the heavy, wet snow starts weighing those power lines. You can see these trees are really just about to come down just behind me. Now, the good news is that Allentown police and state police tell me that so far they have not had an unusual number of accidents today. Seems like a lot of folks are heeding the warnings, staying home, staying off the roads. And again, it's not just the snow, it's all those down tree limbs in the roadway that is really causing a big problem for motorists this afternoon. John, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, John. And there are a lot of trees down out there, and that's caused a lot of roads to be closed. So if you have to go out, you might find you might not get where you want to go. Well, that's all for now from the 69 News Center. We'll have weather and traffic updates on the half hour. We'll have more live coverage on the hour. For everyone here, I'm John Derr. Be safe. A massive snowstorm has dumped plenty of heavy, wet snow on the region. Even more could be headed our way. Meteorologist Amanda Cox has the forecast coming up. More than 100,000 PPL customers are in the dark tonight as trees are falling down on wires throughout the area. And travelers are having a rough time with snow-covered roads and fallen trees. Those stories and much more, plus Dave Lesko has all the day's sports news. Good evening, I'm John Derr. 69 News Weekend Edition starts now.
Your life, your world, your news. This is 69 News Weekend Edition, live at 6.
The massive snowstorm is barreling through the region, leaving a path of destruction. This heavy, wet snow has knocked down trees and power lines throughout the area. More than 100,000 PPL customers are in the dark tonight. Crews are scrambling to restore power. The fallen trees have made traveling an adventure. Many areas, including Reading, have declared a state of emergency. We've just received word that an emergency shelter has been set up at Springhouse Middle School in Allentown. That opened just minutes ago. We now begin team coverage of this snowstorm. WFMZ's Pam Cunningham is standing by in Reading. But first, WFMZ's John Craven is on South Mountain outside of Allentown. John, what are the conditions like there?
Well, John, it's a little scary, actually. We continue to see large tree branches fall down around us. And this here is the result. Streets all over our area have become virtual obstacle courses. The best advice tonight is to simply stay home. And if you can actually watch us there tonight, you are one of the lucky ones. It started off innocently enough, more of an October oddity than a major weather event.
It's a little bit shocking, but it's quite beautiful, actually.
For a while, the Easton Farmers Market even opened.
We thought we would brave the weather and come out and bring our produce.
We were a little curious just to see who would actually be here braving the weather today.
And then the bottom dropped out. Trees came down along with inch after inch of heavy, wet snow.
We did anticipate that we would have outages. We did not anticipate the extent of the outages.
PPL says more than 100,000 customers are without power in the Lehigh Valley, a number they expect to grow. Automated meters are helping the utility locate outages faster.
We have 200 crews on staff right now. We're also getting additional crews, contractors coming in, and crews from our sister utility in Kentucky.
Local and state police report surprisingly few accidents. They say most people chose to stay home, watch the flakes fly, and hope this isn't a sign of things to come.
When winter starts on October 29th, we're looking at a very long time.
Well, let's hope this is just a fluke and not a glimpse of what we are in for the rest of the winter. Now, if you have a power outage and you're a PPL customer, dial 1-800-DIAL-PPL. I don't know if you saw that behind me, by the way. That was another tree branch just falling down behind us. That's the real danger out here tonight on the roads. These tree limbs are falling. And even more so than the snow, it is the fallen trees that you've got to worry about. Now, police are also asking you to please be patient if you call them with a non-emergency call. Priority 1 calls have to take advantage tonight. We are live along South Mountain in Lehigh County in about a foot of snow now. John Craven, 69 News.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Well, let's get a look at what people are seeing in Berks County now. WFMZ's Pam Cunningham is live in Reading with the very latest. Pam.
John, as you said, the mayor of Reading has declared a snow emergency, which means anyone who has their car on the road has to abide by those snow routes. And the mayor says that the city garages will be open for free until Monday morning at 5:30 a.m. That's so that public works crews can get out and clean the streets. They're busy, as are electric crews, as well as firefighters who are trying to keep up with the mess with all the down power lines. When a large tree falls, like this one in Reading, plenty of people could hear it. Emergency responders cut back the limbs from the power lines, but for many neighborhoods, the result is the power is out.
It's dark in here. Yeah. And it'll get darker. It'll get darker.
Doris Ellingsworth in Mount Penn says she has her radio for entertainment and plenty of layers on to keep her warm.
Just went and put long johns on and put another pair of socks on. And
walking through her home, she shows how she plans to see in the dark with kerosene lamps and flashes her light on the thermostat.
Oh, 60.
Standing outside in the snow, she remarks how rare it is to have a storm like this.
In all my years, and I'm 70-some years old, and I never remember snow in October. Yeah. This is something else.
Down the block on the corner of 22nd and Perkiomen, the traffic light is out, and the Suburban Tavern is without power, too.
It's a wet snow. It's real heavy right now, but without the power, we can't open and we could cook. We have candles to eat by, but we don't have an exhaust system.
Gary Patanowicz says he'll be canceling lots of reservations.
It's one of our busiest nights of the week. But you got to grin and bear it.
It hurts business, but they'll manage.
Mother Nature's playing a heck of a mischief night hoax on us.
The combination of wet snow, leaves, and branches is just too heavy for many trees to stand up to. Even though they recognize the lack of power can be a serious issue, people on 10th Street in Reading are using the occasion as a reason to celebrate. I guess you have to get creative when the electricity goes out, and at least 50,000 households in Berks County have to do that right now. Reporting live in Reading, Pam Cunningham.
Thanks a lot, Vern. Well, we now continue our team coverage of this snowstorm. WFMZ's John Craven standing by on South Mountain outside of Allentown. But first, let's go to Pam Cunningham in Reading with the very latest. Pam, is it still coming down out there?
John, it's actually coming down, and the flakes look bigger. So the snow is actually really beautiful to look at. And if you take a look at the snow down here, I don't know if my photographer can follow me. You can see the snow. It's a nice, heavy, wet snow. I know that you and Amanda were talking about how much fun it would be to play with and to build snowmen or snowballs. But at this point, we've been talking to emergency management folks, and they're just asking people right now to please stay inside because those trees are still coming down. We're getting lots of calls of people telling us about trees on their blocks coming down, knocking down power lines. The power is going out. And what's concerning is emergency management are saying, people are going to see wires on the ground. They might think it's, their cable TV or something like that. But the truth is it's a hot wire, and it might sound obvious, but please stay away from it. Do not touch it. Call your power company because you have to treat all lines that are on the ground as active. So it's just something to, it sounds like common sense, but they're very concerned right now because it is tempting to come outside because it isn't that cold to come out and play and enjoy it, but it's probably best to wait at least until tomorrow because the snow is coming down. It is heavy and it is weighing those trees, and you don't know when those branches are going to fall and when they're going to knock down power lines, and they've already been coming down so readily all over the area. So just be careful if you're going to go out, even just to go and play, and even not just driving if you're going to stay away from the roads. But it's really not a good idea to be outside right now. Reporting live in Reading, Pam Cunningham, 69 News. All right, and WFMZ's John Craven reporting from South Mountain outside of Allentown. And John, you've seen and heard many branches come down today, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely, John. And just to let you know, we've actually made it off the mountain finally. We are now on South 4th Street in Allentown. As you can see, not a lot of people getting out here tonight. There's a snowplow going behind us right now. It's really dark out here. That's one thing you definitely notice. There is no power from South Mountain all the way down to just beyond where we are. If you go over to my left, you can see a little bit of electricity as you head towards Center City, but all these fast food places, all these shopping centers around here are shut down tonight. So really, if you don't have to come out here tonight, don't. As you heard the mayor say, the roads are in pretty good shape if you can get around those tree branches. So again, if you have to be out, do so, but take it slow. If you come up to one of these intersections where there is no power, make sure that you come to a four-way stop. That's an important thing. Again, about 100,000 people without power right now here in the Lehigh Valley. If you have lost your electricity and you can hear me, call 1-800-DIAL-PPL to report your outage. For now, though, we are live on a still snowing South 4th Street in Allentown tonight. John Craven, 69 News.
Edition, live at 10.
Power has been knocked out for 2.3 million electric customers in the northeastern part of the United States, and tens of thousands of those people are in our area. The heavy wet snow has brought down branches, trees, and power lines all over the 69 News viewing area. And PPL officials say some people may be without power the rest of the weekend. We've got team coverage of the storm. We start with WFMZ's John Craven, who's in nearly a foot of snow on South Mountain near Allentown. John.
Absolutely, John, and about 75,000 of those outages are here in Lehigh County. Another 28,000 are over in Northampton County, and here is why. This heavy, wet snow is bringing down big tree branches, and along with them come power lines like this one. Cleaning up from a pre-Halloween snowstorm isn't exactly how Rich Fenstermaker expected to spend his Saturday.
A lot of trees all day long, cracking, a lot of noise, dangerous.
With no electricity, Rich is packing up his kids and heading to a friend's house. For others, this shelter is open at Springhouse Middle School in South Whitehall. But as of 8 o'clock Saturday night, only 3 people had showed up.
I think a lot of people go with friends and other family members or go to hotels if they know they're going to be without power for a while.
Most city streets were in good shape Saturday evening, but with overnight temperatures dropping into the 20s, wet spots will freeze over. Rural and mountainous areas still have lots of tree limbs down. Plenty of traffic lights are out too, so police say stay home if you can. Meantime, PPL has brought in 200 crews to restore power, but with more than 100,000 outages, it could take some time.
Crews are assessing the damage, trying to figure out how long that's going to take to restore it.
As for Rich, he says long power outages are becoming all too common during storms.
We've been living up here for a long time, and really it's only been in recent years that we've seen power out for an extended period of time.
Shelter that mentioned the story is at Springhouse Middle School off Route 22 in South Whitehall. Now in Allentown, there are also 2 warming shelters open tonight at William Allen High and Trexler Junior High. The mayor tells us they will be open until at least 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Derr High was the original location, but they lost power. Reporting live on a very snowy South Mountain Lehigh County tonight, John Craven, 69 News.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Meanwhile, all of those downed trees have closed a number of roads in the area. And police say it's also led to a death in Berks County. WFMZ's Pam Cunningham is live in Reading with that story. Pam.
John, snow has at least 2 distinct qualities. It can be beautiful, but at the same time, it can be dangerous. The strength of the snow was apparent. Trees couldn't stand up to the weight. And state police say in Salisbury Township, a large tree fell on a home on Skyline Drive.
One of his daughters has heard a tree fall in the back of the residence. That's where he resides. And she discovered him trapped in there.
It took crews over an hour to get to the man because trees were falling all around them. When they saw 84-year-old Charles Loader, they discover he died instantly while he was napping in a recliner. The tree killed him with massive blunt force trauma. And people all over Berks County saw downed trees.
A whole bunch of branches, trees falling everywhere.
Liz Albaran says this tree on 9th Street near Washington Street in Reading could have taken out her car.
My car is usually parked right here. Today wasn't parked at that location because I was picking up my aunt from the hospital. Otherwise, that would have been my car right there.
She's thankful no one got hurt, but she says her neighbors are frustrated. Within 3 blocks of 9th Street, there are 4 trees down.
They're upset because no one has done anything about it.
The city did put up a roadblock off Washington Street, but Albaran says that's not enough.
We want to be able to go by our street or go home, without parking 2 blocks down, which is, we're in the city, it's not safe.
I did speak with the mayor, and he says that crews are out and they are taking care of those trees as they can get to them. But of course, they have priorities first. First are the trees that are affecting down power lines, and then those that are blocking emergency routes. He says they will be back out in the morning. As for 9th Street, luckily no one on that street is without power, but there are at least 60,000 people in Berks County that are in the dark tonight. Reporting live in Reading, Pam Cunningham, 69 News.
All right, as you can see in that shot in Reading, it appears the storm is wrapping up. But weather conditions are still going to make things hazardous tonight. Let's get those details now from meteorologist Amanda Cox.
Hey guys, well, the snow is coming to an end. It's gradually tapering off from west to east, but once that comes to an end, then we're going to be dealing with much colder temperatures, and also the winds are going to be picking up out of the northwest. But you can see the snowfall is progressing eastward, and it looks like it's crawling at a pretty good rate, and we should see things winding down over the next hour or 2, and then once that does come to an end, we'll be left with quiet conditions for the rest of the overnight, maybe just a flurry or 2 in a couple of places, but most of the time we do expect the skies to be clearing out. Here's a look at the snowfall totals, though, we've got so far, and the accumulating snow does look like it's come to an end since everything is pretty much starting to die off. So this is pretty much we're going to see from this storm system. It does look like it's going to be quite a bit of a cleanup around our area. John, back to you.
Right, we'll see you again soon, Amanda. A number of roads are closed throughout the area because of all the trees, branches, and power lines that are down. Let's get the latest on those road conditions now from Vern Anderson, who's had a very busy day in the traffic center.
It has definitely been busy, John, but we are actually seeing some improvement as we work our way throughout the region. Let's take a look at some of the majors. PennDOT cameras showing some good conditions, but if you really need to go out, please try to be safe out there. If you don't need to go out, stay at home. We talked with Lehigh County Communications. The local major roads are doing fine. However, use caution and be prepared to take detours as many of the side streets are blocked off due to trees and power lines being down. Northampton County, the majors are wet, slushy. Black ice is also a possibility. Supervisor for the Communications Center told us he made the commute from Trexler Town to Nazareth tonight around 8. He said it was slick and slushy, but the side streets are really an issue. Berks County, no major problems right now. Dozens of reports of trees down on the back roads, according to the Pennsylvania State Police in the northern part of Berks County. Elsewhere in Berks, Route 12 has been reported to be cleared and passable, as is 422, 61, and 222. You will experience some blocking issues on 78 and 176 in Berks County. Schuylkill County, 309 is closed at the West Penn Township. That's near the Lehigh-Schuylkill line. There are issues on many of the side streets in Schuylkill County. Carbon County telling us things have improved dramatically in the past few hours. None of the state roads are closed. The side streets are a problem. In New Jersey, the governor has declared a state of emergency. State roadways in Warren and Hunterdon County are considered to be hazardous. That means New Jersey residents are urged just to stay off the roadways until conditions improve. The turnpike southbound between Quakertown and the Lehigh Valley, there's a disabled vehicle on the shoulder. Traffic is at or near posted speeds, but please be careful. And also 422 between Old Airport Road and Swede Road in Amity Township and Berks has now reopened. We'll be back a little later on in the show to give you a recap of some of the other roadways throughout the area, let you take a look at some of the traffic cameras, and hopefully help you plan your morning. That is the latest from the 69